Best flyweight fight ever? Hey, what's up, fight nerds? This is your boy Gershon, and I'm gonna welcome you to Enter the Nerd, where we love fighting, whether it's MMA, boxing, even if it's in comic books. We just love talking about fighting, right? Well, today we're gonna be talking about UFC 256. We're gonna be reacting to it. We're not gonna go over all the fights as per usual, just some of the ones that for me really stuck out for probably their division or maybe just the promotion going forward. So let's get into that. First fight I really want to get into would be the heavyweight fight between Ciryl Gane and Junior Dos Santos. Now, what I really loved about this fight, well, was just kind of the showcasing of Ciryl Gane. His kickboxing style is pretty awesome, especially for the heavyweight division. It's pretty technical, really heavy leg kicks. I love seeing that. I don't get a chance to see that too much from the heavyweights. You see that from a lot of the smaller, quicker guys because they can land it, but his leg kicks are heavy. They're really shifting their opponent. And it's great because, I mean, look, heavyweights aren't the most mobile to begin with, but if you can cut that mobility in half, then you're in trouble. And it was pretty apparent what his goal was. Now, it ended in a TKO stoppage, which Junior Dos Santos pretty much said, hey, you know, he was hitting me in the back of the head. The problem was he was actually turning while getting hit. So obviously, if a punch is coming this way and you start turning your head midway, it's going to hit behind the ear, which is what happened. There was some heavy implications in here because Junior Dos Santos has been coming off of a few losses. It hasn't been just one. And as you know, the UFC is cutting close to 60 fighters. So it's hard to not think he'll be one of them because he definitely passed his prime. I don't think he's ever getting back to a UFC heavyweight championship, sad to say, even though he had a great run when he was there and some awesome matches with Cain Velasquez, right? But this was also great for Ciryl Gane because this is a young guy. He's probably the future of the heavyweight division. I'd love to see him fight against some upper tier. Even though Junior Dos Santos is still upper tier, I mean, I want to see what he can do against maybe like an Ngannou later on, and maybe a Chris Dawkins. That's a really good one too. Much quicker versus like a heavier kickboxer. I would love to see how that is going forward. Next would be in the middleweight division, Kevin Holland and Jacare Souza, right? Now, this was obviously supposed to be, well, Kevin Holland got COVID, right? It was about like 2 weeks prior. He was supposed to fight Jack Hermanson when, you know, Jack Hermanson fought Marvin Vettori instead because obviously due to COVID, Kevin couldn't do it. So now he's fighting on the subsequent card against Jacare Souza, who I don't believe was ranked at middleweight because he started fighting at light heavyweight. And he finished him pretty much off his back. I think he's the second person to do it after Nico Price. And it was crazy because Jacare took him down really, really fast, like very, very early, which was kind of like unsettling. And a lot of people were worried about how Kevin would deal with the grappling. And then when you saw how he was even taking some strikes down there, you're like, this is going to be how the rest of this match was. And he literally kind of like propelled himself off the ground. Like he used his foot to give himself some space, and then he like propelled himself off the ground and gave him a shot, which pretty much took Jacare out the fight, and then some obviously mean ground and pound, and it was pretty messed up after that, and it was all she wrote. Now this is great for Kevin Holland because he's had a great year. I believe he's got 5 wins this year. He's looked awesome, and I obviously really like him. I hope he goes very far, and obviously people are talking about him and Israel Adesanya, but he's got some fights ahead of him before he gets to that. But I think he's obviously the real deal. So I can't wait. I wish the Hermanson fight would have happened because it would have told us a lot more about Kevin. And if he would have beat him, it would have brought him closer to the fight that a lot of us are waiting to happen. Now let's talk about the co-main, Tony Ferguson versus Charles Oliveira. Now, a lot of people were like, let's see what Tony Ferguson looks like after that devastating loss to Justin Gaethje. And, you know, I thought this might have been a better fight for him because I knew it would be more grappling heavy. And obviously, Ferguson is known to like to be on his back and has excellent jiu-jitsu. We've seen him submit some crazy wrestlers like Kevin Lee, who is a good wrestler. Like, he might get taken down, but he's still comfortable down here. We saw what he did to Josh Thompson years ago with his elbows. Tons of things, right? So I thought this would be a better fight, and it might not be like a slugfest. Even though Charles Oliveira isn't scared to stand up, but were a lot of us wrong on this one. Oliveira is so much bigger. Like you saw him when you see him stand next to you, he's so much bigger than him, and he imposes his will in the grappling. He took him down multiple times, which we haven't seen from Ferguson like that, getting taken down and manhandled like that, grounded and pounded. He was actually everywhere. He had no advantage. He had no advantage everywhere, and it was scary because he was caught in an armbar, and a lot of people would have tapped to that armbar. I think he just was waiting for Oliveira to just break it. That way he wouldn't have to quit. I think that would have happened to other people, but he was just, I guess, so tough. I mean, Tony Ferguson really lets his toughness speak for him. I mean, and sometimes I hate that because it kind of shows like a lower fight IQ for certain things, because he has a lot of skill. He has so many skills in his toolbox that he can use, but I think it just doesn't come out right. There was like really no defense going on. He even said that in one of his, in like a statement afterwards. But I think Oliveira just had his number. And unfortunately, Khabib said after Tony's last loss, like, he's gonna lose again. And could we be seeing the decline? Possibly, but I don't think it's over for him yet. And obviously, he's still a top lightweight, so I think the next person he fights is still gonna be in the top 10. So I think this will really tell us. Like, I mean, he's on a 2-fight losing streak, but he won 12 before that. So we will see. We'll have to see what's going on. But as for Oliveira, I think he's on a really good track to fighting probably the winner of Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor. It'll be very hard to deny him, to be honest. Really hard to deny him after that performance. Last but not least, the Flyweight Championship between Davidson Figueroa and Brandon Moreno. Now, that was an amazing match. It was a quickest turnaround for a champion in UFC history with 21 days. Brandon Moreno also finished his opponent. Well, Brandon Royval had like a dislocated shoulder. It was pretty nuts. He finished him in the first round, and so did Davidson Figueroa finished his challenger via submission in the first round. So they were both fresh, non-hurt, ready to go, and they turned it around really quickly. Now, Davidson Figueroa was a heavy favorite in this one. And I mean, I was watching this and I already understood that Moreno had like the speed advantage, and he was self-proclaimed the better technical fighter. When we watched this fight, it was razor thin. Like, obviously Figueroa had the power advantage. You saw every time he hit, it just did something different. But Moreno really was the faster of the two, and he was just hitting him with random shots. He would go body, head. It was really quick. Like, it was like 2 hooks, like double hooks. He would do that to Figueroa, but Figueroa would always walk him down like a Terminator. So they both had like amazing cardio. But the turning point in the match, I believe, was a low blow from Figueroa. Kicked him really hard, which even had Brandon like coughing and everything. It was pretty nuts. He had like 2 minutes down there, got up and just came out like a bat out of hell and won the rest of that round. And Figueroa got a point taken away because of that. So that definitely was a game changer. And a lot of people had Brandon Moreno winning this fight because he was just so close. He was giving so much competition to Figueroa, but a lot of people just saw like the power difference. And even when they were scrambling on the floor, like, it looked so close. There were so many great transitions. But it ended in a draw. And a lot of the draw really it would have been the win for Figueroa if he hadn't lost that point, like just according to the scorecards. And obviously this fight has to happen again. This was exciting. You saw everything. You saw grappling, you saw technical striking, you saw it all. Now, a lot of people are saying this is probably the best flyweight fight in the UFC history. And it's kind of hard not to agree with all the action that was had there, everything you saw. A dominant champion, seeing as Figueroa has beat Joseph Benavidez twice, then Alex Perez, and then has this, which is pretty much kind of a win, and it was an awesome match. Now, Demetrius Johnson is still the flyweight GOAT. Don't get that twisted. But all his fights were him dominating everyone. So in terms of greatest fight, meaning like just the exchange between two of them, this is it. Because even Demetrius Johnson and Cejudo did not look like this. It just didn't. It just was a showcase of everything. And it was awesome. I hope you liked it. But yeah. What's really cool is the next card on December 19th. Wow, loaded. 15 fights. I think, 14 now. I think Bilal Muhammad has COVID, so they took away that fight. But at least 14 more. That's a lot of fights. It's a loaded card. So I'm gonna end the video here. Just let me know, hey, what fights did you like from 256, and what fights are you looking forward to on the December 19th fight night? Let me know what it is. And until then, make sure you keep on watching fighting, whether it's MMA, boxing, and please do not forget to enter the nerd.